That's something you do in the middle of the day, something that feels harmless, comforting, even smart, might quietly be damaging your heart and slowly clouding your brain without you realizing it at all. That question alone should make you pause, because after 65, the body no longer gives loud warnings, it whispers. And one of those whispers often shows up as daytime sleep. The long nap that feels so good, the nap you think you've earned. The nap you tell yourself is normal at this age. And yes, resting is important, no doubt. But there's a very specific daytime sleep habit that many older adults fall into, and it's not talked about enough. And it's not explained honestly on YouTube, and that habit is long unplanned. Deep daytime sleeping that replaces real nighttime rest. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. The body after 65 works on a much tighter rhythm. And when that rhythm is disturbed again and again, even by something that feels gentle like a nap, the consequences don't show up right away. They show up quietly, slowly, over months and years. And by the time you connect the dots, the damage is already there. And let me explain this in a simple, human way, not like a textbook. Imagine your heart and brain as two old friends who rely on routine. They wake up together, work together, and rest together, mostly at night. And when you start sleeping deeply during the day for 1 or 2 hours, especially after lunch, you confuse that partnership. Your brain says, "Is this night?" Your heart slows in a way it shouldn't. Your blood pressure drops and then spikes later. And over time, this back and forth stresses the cardiovascular system. Not dramatically, not in a scary movie way, but in a slow wearing down way, like bending a paperclip again and again until one day it snaps. And studies hint, but don't fully explain, that long daytime naps in older adults are linked with higher risks of heart disease, memory decline, and even early signs of dementia. Not because sleep itself is bad, but because the timing and depth of sleep matter more than we were ever told. And here's where the story gets personal. I once spoke with a retired teacher. 72 years old, sharp, active, proud of her routine. Every afternoon at exactly 1:30, she would sleep for 2 hours. Deep sleep, curtains closed, phone off. She believed it kept her young. But slowly she noticed she couldn't fall asleep at night. Then came morning headaches. Then forgetfulness, small things at first. Names, appointments, and later her doctor noticed her blood pressure pattern was irregular. High at night, low during the day, a reversed rhythm. And when she reduced her daytime sleep, not eliminated rest, just changed it, her nights improved, her thinking sharpened, and her heart reading stabilized. And this is not a rare story. It's repeated quietly in many homes. And the danger is not the nap itself, it's the long, deep, uncontrolled nap that replaces natural nighttime sleep. Because after 65, your brain's sleep architecture changes. You don't fall into deep sleep as easily at night. So when you nap deeply during the day, you steal that deep sleep from the night. And nighttime is when the brain clears waste, including proteins linked to Alzheimer's. So when nights become shallow and broken, the brain doesn't clean itself properly, and memory suffers, decision-making slows, and emotional balance weakens. And then there's the heart during proper night sleep. The heart rate dips in a healthy way, called nocturnal dipping. But long daytime sleeping can flatten this rhythm, leading to what doctors call non-dipping blood pressure, which is strongly linked to stroke and heart attack risk in older adults. Scary words, yes, but important ones. And no one tells you this clearly because naps feel innocent. They feel deserved. Especially after a lifetime of work, raising families, carrying responsibilities. So the mind says, I earned this, and emotionally, that's true, but biologically, the body doesn't care about fairness, it cares about rhythm. And another hidden issue is that long daytime sleep often masks deeper problems, low activity levels, mild depression, poor diet timing, dehydration, or untreated sleep apnea. And instead of fixing the root cause, the nap becomes a bandage, a temporary escape, and over time, that escape turns into a trap because the more you sleep during the day, the less energy you have, the less you move, the weaker the muscles become, and reduced movement alone increases heart risk. So it becomes a cycle. Sleep leads to less movement. Less movement leads to worse sleep. And the brain sits in the middle, slowly paying the price. And here's something very few channels say honestly. Feeling sleepy during the day after 65 is not always normal aging. Sometimes it's a signal, a quiet red flag, that your night's sleep is poor, your nutrition timing is off, or your mind is understimulated. And instead of asking why you're sleepy, many people just lie down. And that's where the damage starts to build. And I want to be very clear, short, light naps, 20 to 30 minutes before 2 p.m. can be helpful for some people, but sleeping for 60, 90, 120 minutes during the day, especially in a dark room, entering deep sleep stages, that's the habit that slowly harms the heart and brain after 65. And it doesn't announce itself with pain. It announces itself with fogginess, low motivation, nighttime wake-ups, and subtle mood changes. And families often miss it. They think, oh, they're just getting older. But aging doesn't automatically mean constant fatigue. And when the brain's circadian clock is disrupted, hormones like cortisol and melatonin fall out of sync. Cortisol stays high at night, stressing the heart. Melatonin drops, making sleep shallow, and the body never fully resets. And this is why some older adults feel tired all the time, but never rested. And here's the uncomfortable part. Many people resist changing this habit because the nap feels like the best part of the day. A quiet escape, a moment of peace, and I understand that deeply. But peace that steals your future clarity is not real peace. It's borrowed comfort with interest, and the interest is paid by your memory, your balance, your heart strength, and your independence. And think about independence for a moment. That's what everyone over 65 truly wants. Not just more years, but clear years, strong years. Years where you recognize faces, make decisions confidently, walk without fear, and enjoy travel, hobbies, conversations. And long, uncontrolled daytime sleep quietly chips away at that independence. Not today, not tomorrow, but year by year. And here's another detail rarely mentioned. When you sleep long during the day, digestion slows, blood sugar regulation worsens, and insulin sensitivity drops, increasing diabetes risk. And diabetes itself damages blood vessels in the brain and heart. So one habit triggers another risk. Like dominoes falling silently, and you might be thinking, but I feel better after my nap. And yes, you do, temporarily, just like sugar gives quick energy. But the crash comes later, at night, and the next morning. And over time the body forgets how to create steady energy on its own, relying instead on daytime shutdowns. And let me tell you something important. The goal is not to eliminate rest. Rest is sacred. Rest keeps you young. But rest does not always mean sleep. Sometimes it means a walk, light stretching, sitting in sunlight, deep breathing, talking to someone, or even a short eyes-closed relaxation without fully sleeping. And those forms of rest restore energy without stealing nighttime sleep. And I want you to imagine this. Imagine reaching 75 or 80 with a sharp mind, stable heart, steady energy, and good sleep at night. That future is shaped by small daily choices. Not dramatic ones, not extreme diets or intense workouts, but simple habits done consistently. And one of those habits is respecting the difference between rest and sleep, especially during the day. And I'll say this clearly. If you are over 65 and you regularly sleep more than 1 hour during the day, especially every day, without a medical reason, that habit deserves your attention. Not fear, just awareness, because awareness is power. And now, as promised, here are clear, practical suggestions to protect your heart and brain while still honoring your need for rest. First, limit daytime naps to 20 to 30 minutes and keep them before 2 p.m., never late afternoon. Second, nap in a light room, not complete darkness, to avoid deep sleep. Third, if you feel sleepy daily, improve nighttime sleep by keeping a consistent bedtime and waking time, even on weekends. Fourth, expose yourself to morning sunlight for at least 15 minutes to reset your brain clock. Fifth, move your body gently every day. Walking after meals is powerful. Sixth, drink enough water. Dehydration causes fatigue that feels like sleepiness. Seventh, if excessive daytime sleepiness continues, talk to a doctor to rule out sleep apnea, heart rhythm issues, or depression. And finally, replace long naps with active rest. Stretching, breathing, quiet hobbies, or light social interaction, because after 65, protecting your sleep rhythm is protecting your heart, your brain, and your independence. And that is true wisdom after 60.